everyone. This is Kevin Gianni from the Renegade Health Show, and today is Thursday. You guys asked for it, so today we get more of Reverend George Malkmus. Enjoy.
A lot of folks ask me, what part does God play in the healing? Okay. And
that's an interesting question, yeah.
Okay.
Like how much of it is, yeah, okay.
And this is something, and this comes from a preacher, okay?
Yeah.
I don't believe much. Now that sounds like a crazy, crazy answer. But we have had people that don't even believe in God apply these principles that we teach here at Howley Acres and get just as well, just as fast as a person that does believe. And what I have come to realize is that when God created this world, he established natural laws to govern his creation. There's a law called gravity. Christian or non-Christian, get too close to the edge of a high place, violate that law of gravity, you're going to suffer the consequences of that violation. And I don't care how much you pray on your way down, you're going to split when you get to the bottom, okay? Well, I believe that when God created man, and I do believe that personally, as it teaches us in the Bible, that God took man and he placed him in a garden called Eden. And in Genesis chapter 1 and verse number 29, God gave man a diet. It was all the foods coming from those plants that were in the garden. I believe that was a natural law from God as to what was proper nourishment for this physical body. And we've all violated it. Christian and non-Christian, no matter what your faith is. And we're all suffering the consequences of that violation because the Bible says what you sow, you're going to reap. God said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And the ignorance today as to how to properly nourish this physical body is incredible. Most people are absolutely dumb. They don't understand that everything they put in this hole in their face has to be processed by the body and the harm that can do. We understand the automobile was designed by some man to run on a certain grade or octane of gasoline. Put a low-grade fuel in the gas tank of their car. Put a contaminated fuel in the gas tank. It's going to ping and knock. It's going to cause trouble with that engine. And so we know that we need to put proper fuel, right grade, without contaminants, in the gas tank of the car so it'll run right, be there when we need it. If we'll take care of it properly, it'll last us a long time. But even if we don't take care of it, if we've got the money, we can go out and buy a new one. But this physical body, we only got one go around. Only one chance. And we've been putting low-octane fuel in. We've been putting contaminated fuel in. And all the pinging and knocking is merely the physical problems that we're experiencing. Change the fuel. Stop the contaminant. Increase the grade. The body starts running like God designed it to run. And we don't get sick anymore. It's so exciting.
So we were with a friend the other day, and we told her that we were coming here, and we told her that the Howley Acres diet is a diet from the Bible. And she asked, and I said it was raw and it was vegan, and she asked, don't they prepare meat like they prepare meat in the Bible? And I said, I don't know. And so I wanted to get...
We include nothing from animal origin. I love to tell folks that we encourage folks not to eat anything that came from something that had a face on it. Mm-hmm. I was in a big seminar in Rockford, Illinois, and I made that statement about something with a face, and a young man raised his hand during question and answer session. He said, what about fish? And I said, does it have a face on it? And he said, not after I cut the head off, it doesn't. But God's original diet was Genesis 1:29. This was God creates man, immediately puts him in a garden, and tells him what he's to eat. And that's the garden foods. That diet that God gave Adam and Eve in Genesis 1:29 was not exclusive to the garden. As we read the scriptures, that diet continued to be the exclusive diet of mankind for the next 1,700 years, up until the flood. When, during the flood, all vegetation was destroyed by water. And in Genesis 9:3, God gives man permission to consume animal source foods for the very first time. I believe for survival purposes, because all plant life had been destroyed. But man has taken that as an okay to consume animal source foods. Our research here at Howley Acres shows that animal source foods are the primary cause of almost every physical problem we experience. Eliminate animal source foods, you eliminate almost any fear of ever having a heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, cardiovascular problems, osteoporosis, acid stomach problem, asthma. I mean, it is incredible that almost every physical problem that we experience has an animal source cause. And so the Bible says the curse causeless will not come. In other words, the curse of sickness will not come without a cause. And one of the most difficult things that I have to do in the Christian community is to try to take animal source foods away from the Christian community, because God said we could eat them in Genesis 9:3. But they don't realize that these animal source foods are the very cause of almost all the physical problems they're experiencing. And as you read the scriptures, it was only after man started to consume animal source foods that you see the word gluttony appearing in the scriptures. Man does not become a glutton on raw plant foods, but he does on animal source foods. And when God was trying to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt, and he was serving the manna, which is a pure vegan loaf made with coriander seed, they complained bitterly, and they wished they had died by the flesh pots of Egypt, where they'd learned to eat a lot of flesh foods. And during that 40 years of wilderness wandering, when God was the dietitian feeding them this manna, they complained bitterly to Moses, and Moses intercedes for God. Moses said, God, these people want flesh. And God said, I'll give them flesh until it comes out their nostrils. And he brought a wind in from the sea, and the quail piled up in the camp, 3 feet deep, 20 miles wide. And God said, I'll give them simply quail to eat, no manna. Not for a day or a week, but for 4 weeks, until it literally comes out of their nostrils, he said. And the Bible says, while the flesh still clung to their teeth, God sent a plague. And I believe once man started consuming animal source foods, a plague literally entered the human race. And it is the cause of almost every physical problem that we're experiencing. And yet we're programmed in our society that we need animal flesh to get our protein. We need the dairy to get our calcium. And yet this is nothing but a ploy by the meat, dairy, and egg industry to get us to think that we need these things for proper nourishment. But I asked folks, I said, if there's protein in the flesh of that cow, what did the cow eat to get all the protein? It ate grass. And where did all that calcium come from in its milk? Grass. All the nutrients our body needs are found in the living plants. And when we eat the animal, we're getting it secondhand through some maybe dead old animal they just cut the cancer out of. We don't need animal source foods. I'm living proof. I've been on this diet 34 years. I'll be 76 years old in just a couple of months. And I haven't had a cold since I made the diet change. It works. It works long term. And I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I want to live healthy until I leave this old world.
I hope you enjoyed that. Your question today is the raw food diet the diet we were intended to be eating? I know a lot of you are probably going to agree with that, but tell us why. Go ahead and post it down below. This is Kevin Gianni from the Renegade Health Show. Together we can change the health of the world, one show at a time.